Let's get on to the economy and our energy system now. Catch up again with Nationals Senator for Queensland, Matt Canavan, joining us from Yeppoon. Coles keeping the lights on, I see there, Matt. I love the messaging, even if the ABC doesn't like it. You've been focusing on, as a lot of people have lately, when we talk about, reducing emissions and the rest of it, this is over decades where we're actually going to be increasing power consumption. We need stacks more power than what we're actually generating now, especially if we're all going to be forced into driving electric vehicles.
Yeah, well, that's right, Chris. And unfortunately, we've been taking a shoot first, ask questions later approach to energy policy. The new Labor government has been saying they want to expand electrical vehicle use, but no one, including themselves, has done the study on, well, what does this mean for whether we can keep the lights on? Because we're already struggling to do so. Here tonight in Queensland, once again, the Reserve Trader Scheme, so-called RERT scheme, has had to be applied just to keep the lights on. What that means in non-jargon terms is that we are all paying, and you will all pay through your electricity bill, we are paying right now for large factories to shut down in Queensland so we can keep the lights on. That's happening right now as we speak. Because we do not have enough power. So what happens then, when we all buy Teslas, apparently, in the next decade? We come home from a hard day's work, want to make sure we can get back to work the next morning, plug in the Tesla. But is that going to mean more factories have to switch off? What's going to happen here? We've got this new report which says that this increased demand from electric vehicles could increase power use by 30% to 100%. It could double power demand, and we don't have enough power now. Where is the planning for this? Because it isn't going to come from renewables right now when the sun's not up and on some nights when the wind doesn't blow.
Well, we know everything's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Ines Willocks from the Australian Industry Group was on the program with me last night saying that companies and industries are going to need support to get through this period of really high energy prices. But his organisation has been one of the industry groups pushing governments down this renewable path for so long. Obviously, no government has got it right if we're running out of power and prices are going through the roof.
Yeah, look, I think it's where are we going to get all this money from, Chris? We've got to pay support, we've got to bail people out. As I said, we're paying factories to not produce, and then apparently we're also going to pay factories that do continue to produce for their power bills. Where are we going to get this from? And particularly, we want to keep a lid on inflation as well, and we've got to control government spending in that context. So, the problem we've got, I think the overall problem we've got in if you like the whole society, Western society, is we kind of want a Bridget Jones' Diary approach. We want to have it all. We want to have renewable energy. We want to have manufacturing jobs come back to Australia. We want to export hydrogen to the world as well. That's going to take more power demands. And we want our electric vehicles. You can't have it all in life. We've got to make choices. And I think right now, given the geopolitical situation we face, given the need to bring back our manufacturing sector, given the need to just keep the lights on for people and keep energy affordable, we should be prioritising the production and use of Australian natural resources for Australian needs. Put our own country first and make sure that we do use the coal, the gas, the uranium we have, the world's largest reserves of all these things, to make sure we make Australia strong and create jobs in this country. And look, I've got no problem with Anthony Albanese being over in Ukraine and giving money there. But what about our nation? What about the fact that our pensioners can't afford their own power bills? What about the fact that we continue to lose thousands of manufacturing jobs every year, and that will keep going unless we can have a power system that can stay on 24/7?
Well, he's back now, and this has to be his number one challenge, because there's much more he can do about this problem than he can about interest rates and inflation through his direct action. Thanks for joining us, Matt. Appreciate it.
No worries, Chris. Have a good evening.
Senator Matt Canavan there, again, live from Queensland.